fans, welcome to Sports Night with Jorge. Big subject tonight. Guys, let's stop mocking Tua. Why do we hate Tua so much? Why fans are just don't like the guy? Stay tuned after this. All right, sports fans, welcome back. Yes, you heard my subject, my intro if you want to say it. Tua Tagovailoa. Why do we don't like the guy? Why we say he's not elite? Why we say he's not good? He's not a top 10. He's not a top 20. He's a top 100. Listen, straightforward, guys. I care less about numbers. Okay? The guy's a winning quarterback. And I'm going to show you now in a few minutes. Okay? And I'm going to run you a big list of elite quarterback that has now won a Super Bowl. Guys, Tua is only 0-1 in the playoffs. And wait till I read you this name. Lamar Jackson hasn't won one. Josh Allen hasn't won a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow hasn't won a Super Bowl. And finally, last year, Hurst won his first Super Bowl. So, let's stop it. Doesn't make any freaking sense. And I know what you're going to say. They're different quarterback style. It doesn't matter. The guy wins football game when he's healthy, right? Okay, so I'm going to throw some stats there, some numbers there that really people don't watch stats. You know what they watch? Win or lose. Well, my God, he won 38 games. But let's get to it because it's going to get very interesting. And I'm going to stop these fans, especially Dolphin fans and fans out there that just don't like him and people talking bad about the Miami Dolphins. Listen, guys, get ready for this because this is interesting. And wait till I give you the list of quarterbacks. They are elite and hasn't won a Super Bowl. So I don't know where you're coming from. So much for Josh Allen. Great quarterback. Okay? I'm not taking anything from him. But let's get started for a second. So we're going to go one by one, by the way. All right, Jaylen Hurst. Here it is. Jaylen Hurst, he finally won one. Look at that record. 46 wins, 20 losses. Okay? Hurst in the playoffs, he has gone to 9 playoff games. He is 6-3. And finally won his first Super Bowl. 85 touchdown, 39 interception, 14,000 yards plus throwing the ball. Percentage completion of 64.4. So he had his good career. Okay. Now we go to the next one. Jordan Love. Wow. Jordan Love. In the playoffs, by the way, Jordan Love is 1-2. Has not won a Super Bowl either. Look at his record, 42-30. Now watch the difference between Tua and all these players here. Tua has lost more games in the sense of him being injured because he would have more victory than all these guys that I'm about to name you. Whether you like it or not, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. Let's go to the next quarterback, which is Tua Tagovailoa. Okay? 64 games. Look how much he played. 38-24. Look at his percentage completion. Better than Hurst. Better than Love. A 68.1. He's a winner. 38-24. And he got injured last year. So 64 games. He only played 49. That's a lot of games he lost. All right, so let's get to the Tua haters. Then you got Joe Burrow. Let's look at Joe Burrow. 69 games. Missed 6. 38-30. Tua has a better record. It's amazing, guys. And we still hear mocking the guy. Saying that he's terrible. He's not good. Now, Hurst, remember, if I go back to Hurst, Hurst had 2 great seasons. In 2022, they were 14-1. And last year, they were 12-3 and won the Super Bowl. So, I'm going to continue the list. There's Herbert. 41-38. His completion, not even better than Tua. Now, has he won a Super Bowl? No. And Herbert is 0-2 in the playoffs. 0-2 in the playoffs. Tua is only 0-1 and has been here 5 years. If it wasn't for his injuries, guys, we could be saying something else. And that's the sad part. It is the sad part. And what are we doing? Mocking Tua. Okay? Even Josh Allen. Okay? No Super Bowl. Even he's 7-6 in the playoffs. No Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is 3-5 in the playoffs. No Super Bowl. And these are quarterbacks that played before Tua. I mean, doesn't that tell you something, guys? Because if you don't want to hear about statistics, let me tell you the truth. Tua is a winner. Of course, when he's healthy. Can you blame the guy? Can we stop talking bad about him? He's a great individual. But you got these Dolphin fans that I'm getting tired of it. Criticizing the team. Okay? Tua is not as bad as you think he is. Okay? Build him a great offensive line. Protect the guy. You gave him great receivers. I mean, you got Waddle, Tyreek Hill. I mean, my God, look what he did with John Smith. Tight end that led, broke NFL record. I mean, Dolphin record, by actually career record in the Dolphins side of it, not NFL record, but the Dolphin side. All numbers were high, in statistics and passing and in yardage and catches and all that. So Tua's not a bad guy, guys. Tua's not a bad quarterback like you think he is. Now, I can name you a list of quarterbacks that you say, my gosh, you'd rather have them than Tua? You could say anything you want about, let's put Lamar Jackson in Miami. Let's put Joe Burrow in Miami. Doesn't mean a thing. If you don't have nobody in front of you to protect them, who cares? Who cares? But we have to be realistic before we say something. And listen, I respect everybody's opinion. And I could be wrong. But man, here we continue talking bad about the Miami Dolphins. As fans, are you really a fan or a fanatic? Are you really a fan or you a person in the bandwagon? When they win, you're in. When they lose, you're out. You gotta stick up with your team. Win, lose, or draw. But I came up with this subject because it is so sad how we mock an individual when individuals, most of the time, I mean, concussion, hip surgery, injury and surgery he had, in college, and still won the national champion, beat Georgia. Did any Georgia Bulldog hear that? He's a winner. He's not a loser. Look at his winning record in Alabama. Okay, that's college football. You go to the NFL. But he's been proving. Won 38 games in the NFL. Imagine if he wasn't injured, guys. If he was not injured, what Tua record would have been 44 and probably 38, 20, 24, whatever his record I just show you right now. That is amazing, man. Losing all these games and still winning these games. And he kept you in the game. Our defense, sometimes they hold and sometimes they couldn't hold. Can't blame that on him. But let me give you some quarterback, man, elite quarterbacks. And I saw a list and I almost flip because I forgot about these guys. And you ready? They're an elite quarterback that has not won a Super Bowl at all. And I mean, like I say, it's sad when you mock Tua. But I'm going to get the list for you in a second. All right? And I'm going to go around down the list. And there's names, big names there. You know who's number one? Dan Marino. Number two, guess who? Jim Kelly. Number three, Frank Tarkenton. Great guy. Number four, Warren Moon. It's amazing, guys. It is amazing, amazing. These names that I'm just telling you that have not won, and they're elite quarterback, and not won a freaking Super Bowl. Is that sad or what? And we could sit here all day and discuss all day about, well, these players are old. They don't play no more in the league. It doesn't matter. Okay? Dan Fouts. Phillip Rivers. Okay, Matt Ryan. And you say, Matt, well, he wasn't elite. He wasn't that good. Okay, Randall Cunningham. I mean, these are quarterbacks, guys, that were amazing. And I'm looking at the list here. Here you go. Josh Allen, number 10th. Okay. Now I'm gonna skip because these are older guys that Sam Ball and J.A. Tittle has now won, and they were great quarterback. Archie Manning, Andrew Luck, Drew Bledsoe, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb. Just look at these names. Look at these names. Have not won a Super Bowl, and they were great quarterbacks. George Blanda, remember that one? That's old. Tony Romo, Sonny Jurgensen, Boomer Esiason. My God, with the Bengals, the Jets. Alex Smith, Dan Meredith, great guy too. Doug Flutie, Craig Morton. Here we go. Joe Burrow, Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer, great quarterback, Cincinnati, couldn't win it. Okay, and the list goes on and on. Justin Herbert's number 32, by the way. Lamar Jackson is number 33. Jim Hart, number 34 for the St. Louis Cardinals back then. Michael Vick, number 36. Now, I'm skipping older guys. I'm not naming every other quarterbacks because there's plenty of quarterbacks. Vinny Testaverde, 37. Jared Goff. My God. Jared Goff. Playing with who? With Detroit. Great quarterback. Has now won the Super Bowl. Ron Jaworski, who passed away a long time ago. Jack Camp. These are older people. Rich Gannon. Kirk Cousin hasn't won one. Steve DeBerg hasn't won one. Mark Brunell hasn't won one. Danny White. It's sad, man. Steve Krogan. Dante Culpepper hasn't won one. Matt Hasselbeck hasn't won one. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mr. Quarterback Relief, hasn't won one. Cam Newton, number 52, hasn't won one. Burt Jones, number 53. Steve Barkowski, number 54. Look at these names, guys. Trey Green hasn't won one. Jeff Garcia hasn't won one. Jim Everett. I could continue going on. Chet Pennington hasn't won one. Former Dolphins and Jets. Dak Prescott hasn't won one. Jake Plummer hasn't won one. Dave Craig hasn't won one. Remember that guy from Seattle? Kevin O'Brien from the Jets. My God, hasn't won one. Joe Ferguson, Jim Zorn, Derek Carr, just retired. Jeff George of the Colts has never won one. Man, the list goes on. Baker Mayfield hasn't won one. Jim Harbaugh hasn't won one. Charlie Johnson hasn't won one. I can continue, man. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't won one. I mean, the list is on. Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence. And these are quarterbacks that are playing and not playing. And they haven't won a Super Bowl. And according to this elite quarterback that has now won a Super Bowl. They have great careers. Now, I'm not going to compare the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s to the team right now because we're in the 20th century. Okay, but we got to stop mocking Tua Tagovailoa. Why do we hate him so much? And I hate to use the word hate on my program. Why we don't like him so much? Why? Why? Since Dan Marino, he's the winningest quarterback in the Dolphin team. Can we control his injury? Who can control an injury? Nobody can. I look at the list with Burrow. I look at the list with Herbert. When Tua was drafted, none of the quarterbacks has gone to the Super Bowl. Hurst just made it to the Super Bowl last year. See how long it took him to get there. Come on, guys. Let's be honest. Let's be real. And you know what? Different style of quarterback. It's amazing how Teron Armstead in that program that he has on the podcast, and he was talking to other podcasters about comparing him to Drew Brees, a similarity, okay? And we could sit here and say, wow. If the guy says that, it's because he sees something in Tua. He believes in Tua. Maybe our GM, maybe our coach, not really surround him with enough players to win. And you might say, I'll disagree with George because they got Tehran, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they got. One player is not going to make a difference. One offensive tackle is not going to make a difference. Put Tua, and I was thinking about this today, put Tua with the Eagles' offensive line. Put Tua with the Chiefs' offensive line. I could go on if you want. What would happen? What will be the results? What will you say then? What will be your argument? Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Okay? If this man leaves, go to another team, and listen, it has happened to the Dolphins for years. Go to another team and win a championship. And that's probably the biggest slap that a Dolphin fan will get when they say, what in the world happened here? You could have won in Miami, but they went to this team and won in this team. And it happens. Look, you could put Tua also with the Detroit Lions offensive line. You could put Tua with the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. And I mean, I got more list of quarterback guys. I mean, Kerry Collins, Jay Cutler, Kyle Murray, Cordell Stewart, Mark Bulger, from the Rams. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just how we start marking these players because we think that, no, man, they're humans just like me and you. They're gonna make mistakes like me and you. But if you want Tua to be successful and go to the next level, well, build this guy in an offensive line. Build this guy. Listen, one thing about Dolphin fans, stop saying that the Dolphins are in a rebuilding mode. They're not in a rebuilding mode, okay? The Dolphins either are not tanking. This is it, guys. We win. Once again, we lose our job. We don't make it, we out of here. McDaniel's out of there. Greer should be out of there. The owner, listen, you might say anything about the owner, but when the owner speaks, he pays. I think the biggest mistake that happened to the Miami Dolphins last year, it's all these contracts that Miami extended. Listen, the Ramsey trade, Miami didn't lose anything. Okay? I like Mika Fitzpatrick will help the Dolphins secondary. I believe so. We might need a cornerback just somewhere, and it could be a cornerback that could be released some down the road because remember, we got training camp, we got preseason, so anything could happen. Okay, guys, anything could happen. Miami could pick up any cornerback out there because there's good cornerbacks out there. Okay, maybe somebody's not happy with the team and Miami can make a trade. Okay, tight end. Listen, people talk about Warren tight end. A guy that retired came back. We don't know if he's going to make this roster or not, guys. We don't know that. We could say that, but we actually don't know that. We don't know if the guy's going to make the roster. But if you look at it, $5 million, not much money, and most of the incentives. So listen, the guy had a great couple of years with the Raiders. So one thing as fans, and I know we love our team. I know we excited of our team, and we see all these. And this is what I've been saying for years. I don't need a superstar name in my football club or in my team. Like let's sound better. I don't need a big name person in my team. I need a person that can come in my team and be a winner and wants to win and is hungry for a victory. I don't want a name just because he's the best, and he did this 3 years ago. He did this 2 years ago. Listen, cut it off. I don't need that. As a fan, that's me talking as a fan. Don't know about you guys. But as a fan, I don't need a football player just because his name and his jersey is so big that he comes to Miami and to do what? To do what? You bring Ramsey? Wow, Super Bowl bound. Tyreek Hill? Wow, Super Bowl bound. And then we cut Gesicki. We let Gesicki go because according to McDaniel, he didn't like Gesicki. Well, you know what? maybe he wasn't a good blocking tight end, but I'm going to tell you about Gasicki. He could really, really catch the ball. He could really get you some first downs. He could get you on third downs. I mean, he was a good. Look at the year he had in Cincinnati, guys. That's why they re-signed him and got him back. Okay? I'm not worried about tight end they could block. Because, first of all, Miami has great running backs. Now with Ollie, okay, with Wright, with A-Chain. Come on. They got great running backs. Let's be honest. They got great receivers, too. But you got to build the offensive line. Now we got to get a tight end. Well, we probably get a tight end. Let me tell you a tight end I would like. It's Andrews from the Ravens, from the Baltimore Ravens. That guy's a beast. That guy's got good hands. Oh, in the playoff, he dropped a couple of passes. Really? Man, he dropped passes that was going on the floor. He's trying to catch it. It's impossible. But that's a great tight end. I mean, there's other good tight ends. Also, the guy from the Raiders. But listen, it's got to a point that, where, fans are getting frustrated. Fans are getting upset. They're looking at all these videos. They listen to all these podcasts. And you got great guys that are doing great, commentary, and they have their opinion, and I respect their opinion, and I understand, what they see. I've been a Dolphin fan. I'll tell you, I was born 1966 when the franchise started. My first game, I was, 6 years old, and watched the undefeated Dolphins. Okay? Don Shula, Bob Greasy, Earl Morrall, Larry Sanka. Let's go on. Paul Waterfield. I mean, and, back then to now, football has changed totally. More physical. I mean, look at the weight rooms. Look at the nutrition, if you want to speak. Come on, they had steroids back then. Remember Lau Zettel on the Raiders? Great guy, too. Passed away, but great football player. I mean, I could go on and on. But we have to be real and realistic of what we're seeing. Of how we are feeding ourselves when it comes to Miami Dolphins. There's so much negativity now in the Miami Dolphins out there that I'm getting sick and tired of it. Because, and I say this, and I don't say this in a bad way, guys. It's because we're feeding ourselves the wrong thing. We're feeding ourselves something that we should not be feeding ourselves because, you know what? We know what's outside the door, but we don't know what's inside the door. What goes inside the Miami Dolphins. These are professional athletes, professional players. Okay? Let's be honest, like me and you. Okay? We go home to a family. They go home to a family. They're human. Okay? The only thing is they have a job like I have a job. I have a full-time job. They got a full-time job. But as fans, yes, we're getting tired. We are exhausted. We want to win. It's been long now since we haven't won a playoff game. Man, Tua's only 0-1 in the playoffs. 0-1. Actually, I was looking at Josh Allen's number. Josh Allen, and another poor guy. He might be one of those Jim Kelly. Never won a Super Bowl. But, heck of a quarterback. Who knows? Josh Allen is actually 7-6 in the playoffs. But no Super Bowl to show for it. So he's been 13 times in the playoffs. He's 7-6. That's only one game over 500. And you could sit here and say Josh Allen is better than Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah? But the first question comes to your mind is, has he won a Super Bowl? No. Oh, but he wants a playoff. It doesn't matter that he won a Super Bowl. Look at everybody I just named you. Lamar Jackson, no Super Bowl. Great quarterback, MVP. Josh Allen's MVP. No Super Bowl to show for it. Come on. Now, I'm saying that Tua is better than these guys? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that before anybody comes out and say, I'm not saying that. Okay? That he's better than these players because they all play a different style of football. They're all different quarterbacks. They got running quarterbacks, passing quarterback, pocket quarterback, you name it. But stop mocking Tua because people are saying like Tua is no good. People say, well, he's in the top 15, top 20. It doesn't matter. Listen, it is the most weird thing of this situation is this. If Tua wins the Super Bowl this year, I'm just giving an example. Okay, All those batching guys, oh, now he's an elite guy. It took Hurst to win the Super Bowl last year to be an elite quarterback because according to everybody, he wasn't elite. Oh, but now he won a Super Bowl. Come on, guys. Really? One freaking championship and you call him elite? Let's look at Brady, who won six Super Bowls, 7 Super Bowls, whatever, how many he wants. Let's look at is it Roger Staubach or the Pittsburgh Steelers? What, 4 Super Bowls they won? I mean, listen. If we're gonna mock them just because one title and they're the best, listen. More be it too. I mean, it's okay. They won. But look how long it's going. Look, Allen been in the league longer, 2 more years longer than Tua. Same as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson and Allen's basically the same year. What, 7 years in the league now? No Super Bowl. No Super Bowl. And by the way, I think he's 3-5. Lamar Jackson is 3-5 in the playoffs. I mean, I took my stats out today. I had to because everybody's criticizing Tua because he's only 0-1 in the playoffs. 0-1. That is it. He has played 1 game in the playoffs only. And these guys have played 8 games in the playoff. Allen has played 13 games in the playoff. Hurst has played 9 games in the playoff. Actually, by the way, Hurst has the best record in the playoffs, 6-3. And Joe Burrow is 5-2. Now, I didn't add Patrick Mahomes because I know Mahomes probably surpassed everybody in this list. Because I didn't forget about Patrick Mahomes, even though I didn't mention him here. Because I mentioned these early quarterbacks that has come out besides Allen and Lamar Jackson. But you got Tua, Burrow, Herbert, Love, Hurst. Hurst won it last year. So, maybe I got my numbers wrong, but I'm looking at this. I look at statistics. I look at each individual players. And, it's not about statistics. It's more about the W. How many you won? How many you lost? I don't care about the lost. How many can you win? Listen, I'm going to say something to Dolphin fans. Don't be surprised that the Dolphins will win probably the first wild card. And don't be surprised if they can take over the division. And you might disagree with me. And that's okay. You can disagree with me. They have work to get done or to be done. Yes, they got a lot of work to be done in this team. If you guys never checked out my bucket list, and I'm going to repeat it here once again, it's going to take winning games with good teams. It's going to take a weather condition, which Tehran says something which is perfect. It's not about the weather. It's about the players. It's about the execution. About that day when you play that team in the field. It doesn't matter rain, snow, or the sun comes out. You got to execute to win. McDaniel has to make better decisions. Tua, stay healthy. They had to protect Tua. Let's be honest. There's no other way to say it. Distraction, Tyreek Hill. Players, get away from the media. Do your job. Sip it up. Do your job. Move on. Okay? Take care of business in the field. Off the field, we don't need distraction. Especially when your team, when your team has changed a culture, which that's another thing. I haven't got deep into the culture. And let's be honest. My thing, the culture is win. You're in. Lose. You're out. That's my culture. You fail me, don't need you. I mean, they need some discipline here. They got to take action. And unfortunately, right now, the Miami Dolphins will know in training camp what we have. I will come with my predictions. But hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'm sorry, guys. This is my opinion about Tua Tagovailoa. I'm tired of people mocking him down, talking bad about the guy. And really, he's a good quarterback. He's a good human being. Unfortunately, health-wise, If we could have him for 6, 7, 8 more games, we could have been talking something different. But anyhow, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for everybody that have subscribed, by the way. And you guys have a blessed night, and see you guys soon. And once again, don't forget S&J all the way, and excuse me, fins up for everybody, and have a blessed one.